After doing keto and intermittent fasting for a little over 4 years now and working with a lot of different people, I'm going to give you 10 possible reasons why your belly may not be shrinking on keto. Number one to start this off is you may not be doing keto correctly. What is correctly though? It's going to be a higher fat, moderate protein, and low carb diet. Hopefully if you're doing keto, you know that, but that's what it is. But what a lot of people get caught up in is the 20 to 50 carb range that you usually see talked about with a keto diet. But if you're starting this and you got a lot of weight to lose and you got a lot of other health conditions going on, you probably need to keep it at 20 and possibly even take it down to 10. Another thing that you got to look at is the ingredients list on things that you're buying. There's a lot of hidden sugars and a lot of things that you got to look for, like maltodextrin, dextrose, MSG. There's a lot of different ones. And you got to look out for those on the stuff that you're buying because they can inhibit the weight loss. Another thing too that you got to be conscious of is that carb limit that you have, whether it's 10 or up to 20 or more. If you have more, like I said, you should probably lower it, but what those carbs actually consist of. Even though you have that limit, you don't want to be consuming any real starchy, sugary, highly glycemic stuff, because stuff like potatoes, rice, bread, crackers, waffles, things like that, they're going to spike your blood sugar up real high, which is going to cause your insulin to rise real high, which is going to turn off fat loss completely. For number two is you don't think it's working, but it's actually working. Okay, if you've been doing this only for maybe a week or two, you may still not have seen any weight loss yet. But now typically in a normal situation, you're going to see some weight loss. For example, today I was doing a live stream with a friend and we had someone come on and comment that she had been doing keto for 3 weeks and lost 11 pounds. Now that's great, but you want to compare that to other people that have been doing it for, say, a little over a month and their weight loss has slowed down significantly. It hasn't stopped, they haven't plateaued, but it's just got real sluggish. You know, they're only losing 1, maybe 2 pounds a week. Well, unfortunately, that's actually very normal for even a very healthy person that's in, good metabolic health, is usually only going to be able to lose 1 to 2 pounds a week. That's unfortunately just how it works. If you're losing more than that, that's great weekly, but at the same time, that could be an issue because you might be burning up muscle, especially if you've been doing this for over a month or so, because it is actually normal in the first month of doing keto to lose up to 25 to 30 pounds. A lot of people have that happen, but you got to keep in mind that usually the first 10 to 15 of that on the average person is going to be water weight, because carbohydrates hold water on the body. So as you start cutting the carbs out doing keto, you're going to lose a lot of fluid and a lot of that water as you cut the carbs out and down. So after you've got that water weight off, that's when things might start to slow down and you're only seeing that 1, maybe up to 2 pounds a week weight loss. Number 3 is going to be the fact that you're not combining intermittent fasting with keto. The whole object and goal of keto is to get your insulin levels lowered down to where that you can burn fat very efficiently so that you can pull fat from your body and burn it for fuel and get that weight loss. If you're doing keto but you're still eating the typical 3 meals a day and maybe including some keto snacks in between those, that's something that you're going to most likely have to change. First of all, snacking in general is a big no-no when it comes to losing weight. You want to cut that out completely. And if you're having trouble from going meal to meal, just add a little bit of fat at the end of each meal so that you can go longer and stay satisfied. But I have a full video breaking down what is intermittent fasting, but just in short, what you want to do over a period of time is take your breakfast and push it into your lunch, and then just end up having lunch and dinner from day to day. And that would be starting you out on a 16-8 regimen, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours worth of eating. And if you have a sluggish metabolism, you might want to eventually go to 1 meal a day and just pushing the lunch and dinner into just one big meal, which is called OMAD. Number 5 is going to be if you have a fatty liver. So if you got a fatty liver, you most likely also have a lot of what's called visceral fat, which is fat that is inside the abdominal cavity and around the organs. Now, the reason that this is going to slow down you losing your belly is because when you start losing weight and pulling fat from your body, it's going to pull from that first. It's going to start burning off your visceral fat, the fat around your organs, and the fat that's on your liver. Once it burns that up, then it's going to start going for the belly fat, the subcutaneous fat, and it'll start burning off of that. But that can take a little bit of time, so you just have to be patient. The best way that you can accelerate this though is getting a good amount of choline in you. For example, one thing that is very high in choline is eggs. It's also in lemons, and it's in small amounts in other foods. But when you got this going on, the best thing that you can do is get on a high quality choline supplement. And I'll have one linked in the description if you want to check that out. But by taking a choline supplement, you can supercharge the time that it's going to take to get all of that fat stripped off your organs and your liver and start getting that belly off of you. Number 5 is going to be medications. We're talking about anything from statins to antidepressants and a bunch of other ones. A lot of these drugs, medications, come with the side effect of not being able to lose weight and actually gaining weight. As you do keto and get healthier over, the course of doing this, hopefully you're able to come off of any medications that you are on, because you're getting your body more healthy and to where it's able to run efficiently on its own without any outside chemical substance altering things to make it look like it's running right. Number 6 is going to be gaining muscle. Now, wait a minute, that sounds weird. Gaining muscle, that's good, right? Well, this is more specifically related to what I like to call scale watchers. They weigh themselves every day. If you're weighing yourself every day, you need to take that to every week, honestly, because it can fluctuate up and down. But if you're exercising and doing keto, there's a good chance that you're going to be gaining some muscle. And by volume, muscle weighs more than fat. So if you're not burning off a ton of fat, or you are burning off a normal amount of fat, but you're putting on a good amount of muscle at the same time, that's going to cause the scale to go up. But at the same time, this is going to be really good for you, because the more muscle mass that you have, the more, it's called resting metabolic rate, but it's the more calories that you're going to burn while at rest, literally just sitting. Now, I'm not saying just sit and hope this is, weight loss is going to happen, but having more muscle is going to be better. And it's really looking at the long haul of things. Not to mention the toning effect, the chicken wings that a lot of people hate having, or wherever it may be that's floppy and flopping around. Exercising and gaining muscle are going to help that, even if the scale is going up. Number 7 is going to closely tie into number 6, but it's exercise. And I'm specifically talking about people that think, well, if I exercise more, I can lose more weight. Well, unfortunately, that's usually not true and not going to be the case. You want to try to keep the 85 80-15 mindset, because that's usually about where it's going to stay. It's 80 to 85% diet, but it's going to be 15 to 20% exercise that's going to equal out to the amount of weight that you lose. If you try to throw that out of proportion and just do a ton of exercise and just be lazy with doing keto and doing things like I've already talked about, eating multiple times a day, snacking. One thing I didn't mention was eating the wrong kinds of fats, getting healthy fats. Don't go for things that have vegetable oils, hydrogenated oils, things like that. Those are highly inflammatory, and inflammation is going to turn off weight loss, and it's going to cause you a lot of other problems. But also, another good thing about exercise, besides just keeping it at the 15-20 limit, is going to be the fact that it does increase growth hormone, and it is going to give you a little bit of weight loss. So it's something that you do definitely want to include doing with keto if you're able to. But as I said, just keep that 85-15 mindset about it. The best kind of exercise that you can do, though, is going to be what's called HIIT training. HIIT. That stands for high intensity interval training. So we're talking about short bursts with high intensity, the most that you can stand. The best thing for this would be sprints, but not everybody is capable of doing that. Some people have bad knees. Some people, they got a lot of weight to lose and they're not able to sprint. So you could either start out maybe on a bike machine, elliptical, heavy weightlifting, doing high weight and low reps. And some people may even just need to start out with walking and build themselves up to doing those other things. And sometimes that can take a while. You know, it's not going to happen in the first 1, 2, or 3 weeks. It may take you a few months to get up to that, but that's perfectly fine. You go at your own pace until you can build yourself up to the stuff that's going to be best. Number 8 is going to be bloating from food. Every time you eat, you're getting real bloated and distended, and it's keeping your belly the way that you don't want it. Well, this can typically come from a stomach acid or bile deficiency. You don't have enough of either one of those. And a lot of times, it's usually going to be the food that you're eating. That's usually the cause behind this. For example, you can take someone and they eat a lot of kale, okay, and it bloats the crap out of them. It gives them a lot of gas and things like that. And then you have them switch to consuming, say, something easier to digest like romaine lettuce, and they do just fine. So you may need to switch up what you're eating, take a close look at that. Also, food allergies. You may be slightly allergic to something and it's giving you bloating, and you may not realize it. It's something else to possibly get checked. Have a test done and see if you're allergic to any foods. Another thing is consuming too much fat when you're first starting keto. It can take your body time to adapt to the higher amount of fat that you're eating to get your bile production up, and in a higher amount to be able to digest those higher amounts of fat, because bile is what digests fat. If you don't have enough of it, that alone is going to cause a lot of bloating and distending issues. Number 9 is going to be if you have other health conditions. You might have thyroid issues, hormonal imbalances, heart condition, lung conditions, other things like that. When the body is getting healthier, and hopefully it is if you're doing a clean version of keto, but as it gets healthier, it's usually going to focus on trying to deal with these other issues first and get those in check before it's going to start focusing on weight loss, or focusing on weight loss even more than it is already. So hopefully you're getting healthier doing keto, and if you just be patient and give the body time to deal with these other things, that weight loss will start coming even more naturally. You got to keep in mind that it's get healthy to lose weight, not lose weight to get healthy. For number 10, and this is the biggest one of all, is stress and sleep. Stress is going to keep you from losing weight usually indefinitely, and sleep being even bigger and tying into it. If you don't get enough sleep, you're going to end up having higher cortisol levels the next day. Higher cortisol levels can lead to you not burning any fat whatsoever. Some people actually just get their sleep fixed, and by doing that, start losing all that annoying weight that they couldn't get off before, just by fixing their sleep. Not even making any major diet changes. So above all, make sure that you're getting a good amount of sleep each night. At least 7 to 8 hours is going to be extremely beneficial for a lot of other things too besides weight loss. And that's the 10 reasons you may not be losing belly fat on keto. I hope y'all found this helpful, but guys, keep it keto, keep it healthy, and I'll see you next week.